I'll just come out say it, and yes, I was a bit curt with this lady. And no, I shouldn't have spoken to her the way I did. But I get inquiries like hers several times a week, and it gets tiring when people act like I have the power to hire them when I don't. I'd come out to the garden area to give my coworker a bottle of water and sent her inside for a break. While out there, a young woman walked up who looked to be in her early 30s. She was buying some plants and started chatting with my coworker as I waited for her to finish the transaction. Lady, are you guys hiring? Coworker, always, we had a bunch of people leave last week. Lady, are there any manager positions open? Me, I don't know, you'd have to look on the careers part of the website. They had a bunch of positions open when I applied, but I transferred in. Lady, I want to be a manager. I tried applying at the other store, but they said they didn't have a position open. I just want to know if one was available here. Me, where are you? I'd apply anyway and then call a day later. Even if they say the position isn't open, just ask if you can come in for an interview and see how it goes. Could be someone misclicked something and it's actually open. Lady, but is the manager position open here? Me, getting a bit tired of this line of questioning. Ma'am, I don't know. I don't keep track of that stuff, I'm just a cashier. Coworker, sorry, all you can do is apply. Lady, proceeds to tell us all her qualifications. This went on for a few minutes with me and my coworker still waiting. At this point she'd finished the transaction and was waiting awkwardly for the lady to move along so she could take her break. Lady, finishes talking about wanting to be a manager. Me. Okay. Lady, pauses for a second as she stares at me. Well, I want the position. Me, then you should go inside and speak to one of the managers on staff. I can't help you, ma'am. Lady, don't you want me to be your boss? Me, now I'm past the point of irritation. Not particularly. Lady, tone gets sharp. What's that supposed to mean? Me, no, I don't want you to be my manager. Lady, stares at me in surprise. Me, either apply. I don't care. But I'm not working for you. Lady, just stares at me for another few seconds before she quickly hurries out for the store. Coworker, equally surprised, and after a moment quickly leaves. I didn't see the lady ever come back in again or hear anything further about the incident. And as far as I know, no, the store has not hired any new managers to date. Earlier today I was organizing the back of the store when a customer approached me to ask if they could exit through the emergency exit. When I said no for the reason that it's an emergency exit, they told me well my car is just outside that street. As they did not want to go back off the main entrance and essentially walk around the block to get to their car. I again repeated it was an emergency exit. They even tried showing me their receipt that they paid and just wanted to leave through this specific door. I, again, told them they couldn't because it was an emergency exit and there were 2 signs in red letters stating so. They said so I'll just have to use the main entrance then, with a slightly annoyed expression before walking away. I really question customer thought process sometimes. So this happened about a year and a half ago, give or take. I was promoted to front-end manager of the local grocery store I worked at. I liked my job at the time, until a terrible manager was brought in and I had to quit, but that's not what this is about. The location of the store meant there was a lot of thievery, people snagging chocolate bars or a couple small produce items, which I didn't normally care about. It wasn't often the same people, and hey, everyone's gotta eat. But this one lady, every day without fail, kept coming in once the loss prevention guy was on break, or there were only a couple staff in, and absolutely fill her bag with anything she could get her hands on. If anyone tried to approach her or talk to her, she would cuss us out and throw things at us from the bag. It really got on my nerves. Eventually me and my store manager both banned her from the store, but she continued to come back. We reported her to the police for the stealing and trespassing, but they never did anything about it cause it wasn't a big enough crime, I guess. Anyway, one day she comes in once again and enough is enough. I shout at her as she darts past the tills and tell her to stop and empty her bag, reminding her that she was already banned from the store. Well, she starts chucking random items at me from her purse and keeps going for the door. I keep walking, intent on stopping at the door and just yelling at her not to come back. However, she changed that right quick. This BTCH turns around in the doorway and just hawks a huge, gross loogie right at me. I managed to sidestep, thank God. Who knows what this crusty CNT is carrying, but I am seeing red. I take off after her and to the parking lot, kind of just losing my SHT. Guess it was my turn to cuss her out. Meanwhile my staff member follows me and she's calling the cops while I'm busy reaming this woman out across the plaza. My staff is giving them a description and an explanation of what happened because, as it turns out, spitting on someone is grounds for assault charges in Canada. Well, in the end they caught her with stolen goods and she was charged with assault last April. We never saw her again while I was working there and she would catch additional charges if she ever came near me again. I went shopping at my old store about a month ago however, and was chatting with another long-time employee. Apparently that same woman cornered her in the parking lot after work like a week before to beg her to get me to drop the assault charges, so that's pretty whack. The employee is fine, she actually thought it was funny when she was telling me, considering in Canada it's the police that press charges, not the victims. Happened a couple years ago when I was working retail. It was maybe 15 minutes before closing and there was only a couple customers in the store and just me and the manager at the time. I was on register and one of the tasks is to bring in the shopping carts from the parking lot. The parking lot isn't very big and there was maybe 5 carts all around the lot. Walking back from getting a couple at once I noticed a man asleep on an empty wood pallet right under the store window. This man's knees were up and he was passed out, but I didn't go close to see what was up and instead went back inside. Walking back in, the last customer was at the register and my manager was coming towards the door to lock it, seeing as it was now closing time. At this time when I was ringing the customer out I tell my manager, "Oh yeah, there's some dude sleeping on one of the pallets." Manager walks out and is outside for at least 2 minutes. I'm still with the customer because we used to know each other and were chatting. Manager comes back in. Me, did you see him? Manager, yay, he's turning purple. Cops were called and the fire department ended up coming. From what I know he was overdosing on drugs and very close to dying, and it took them quite a while to get him conscious. He didn't know his name or where he was. I had to give a report and all that jazz. I never heard anything else about what happened with him. Edit, while the fire department did show up, an ambulance showed up right after as they got him conscious. Where the store was, the fire department is way closer than the hospital. So the store phone rang today, and something about the conversation just seemed sketchy. Me, hello, insert store name. Lady, yes hi, I was wondering if you had sounds like helium? Me, do we have helium? Lady, no, the debit cards. The prepaid ones. Me, yes, we have the green dot cards. Lady, okay, can I pay for it with a debit card? Me, no, it's cash only. Lady, oh, it's cash only. Me, yes. Lady, do you know if it's just you or does that apply to other places too? Me, well, I can't speak for other stores that sell them, but for us we cannot do green dot cards with a debit card. It's cash only. Lady, hangs up without saying anything. It might not look that sketchy typed out, but her tone of voice on the phone was sort of rushed and quiet.